Hello, my name is Nicholas Smith, and today I will be going over cybersecurity. Let's start with how I would describe it. I would describe cybersecurity as a practice in which programs, systems, and humans come together to protect sensitive data from harmful attacks that aim to steal and sell data. Cybersecurity helps protect us from things such as phishing attacks. These are things that we get in our emails that seem luring and true, but are not. They will more than likely lead to uh, bad websites, websites that may contain malware and can infect your device. It protects from malware itself. It also helps protect from DDoSing. If you're not familiar with what DDoSing is, it's very well known in the gaming community. Simply when someone sends an overwhelming amount of information at one time to one particular device, and what this does is essentially, it causes the device to crash, similar to how a computer may crash if it's taking in too much data at one time. This is what DDoSing is, and cybersecurity helps protect you from it. Uh, Cybersecurity also helps protect us from weaknesses in things such as our IoTs. Um, just take, for example, your thermostat, which may be connected to your internet. Things such as your garage door opener, sometimes even your coffee pot. These things can be exploited by hackers who in who can connect to these devices and then in which connect to the internet itself and then have access to those who access the internet. These are just a couple of major cybersecurity companies that help protect us in our day-to-day lives. We have companies such as Pal- Paliato. The core product is a platform that includes I'm sorry. The core product is a platform that includes advanced firewalls and cloud-based offerings that extend those firewalls to cover other aspects of security. We also have McAfee is an American proprietary software company. It is focused on online protection for consumers. We also have Symantec, which is a security software suite that consists of malware, intrusion prevention, and firewall features for the servers and desktop computers. We also have Cisco, a multinational digital communication technology conglomerate corporation. All of these companies play a part in our cybersecurity. They keep us safe from those listed, such as the malware, phishing, DDoSing, and weaknesses in our IoTs. Where would my fascination of cybersecurity stem from? Honestly, it would have to stem from the dark web. And no, I'm not talking about accessing it per se, but simply knowing how dangerous it is and how susceptible we are when it comes to using the internet. The dark web is a very dangerous place full of really bad people and really nefarious things. Just how many people's sensitive information is just able to be purchased just for a couple $100 or just $1,000. Someone can have access to your entire bank account just for $1,000. Um, and knowing that we have to adapt in how we defend ourselves, with the world becoming more and more integrated with internet and with AI getting better and better every day, we have to adapt. Um, you know, if if AI is to become more part of our lives, defending ourselves will have to change. Now, I'm not saying that you will have to completely forget how you used to defend yourself in the physical world, but you will have to adapt new tactics to defending yourself in the virtual world as well. For example, in the real world, um, you could just simply go to the gym, build some muscles, learn the basics of how to throw and dodge a points, and you can keep yourself relatively safe. Or in some cases, if going to the gym isn't for you, a firearm works pretty well. Um, but these are just some things that we have to take account of as we move into this virtual world. We're going to have to accept the changes and simply move along with the storm, because if we allow ourselves to get left behind, we're going to be vulnerable to a lot of nefarious attacks. Let's imagine what life would look like with no cybersecurity. So imagine, for example, if your house had no doors, your cars had no locks, and our phones had no passcodes. This sounds awful, right? Right. In your home, you would have no protection from chemicals or from the elements. In your car, if you drove anywhere, it would be a huge risk. If you left that car unattended, there's a great chance it would not be there when you came back. Today's world is becoming more integrated uh, and requiring even greater protection than we have today. We are constantly needing to update our computers' uh, defense softwares, because every day more and more cyber attacks um, are happening, and the only way to defend yourself from these attacks is constantly stay ahead of the curve, because similar to mythology, the Hydra, for example, when you cut off one head, two more grows. So when you defend yourself from one cybersecurity attack, there's two more ways they can come at you, whether that be from phishing emails or whether it be from weaknesses in your internet devices that you have throughout your home. And as a society, we must adapt, otherwise, we will be at the mercy of those who wish us harm. A quick little story time of how I had very weak cybersecurity. I was roughly about 12 at the time. It was pretty late at night, and I was playing my video game, and nobody was home. So one night while I'm playing the video game, I get a message from a guy I never knew about, and he had messaged me promising me cheats in a video game that I played. And at the time, it really piqued my interest because a close friend of mine at the time had also acquired cheats for a very low price, and I assumed that that's what was happening to me. Boy, was I wrong. um, the man, he told me that he would give me X, Y, and Z, and I'd be able to do all these fun things in the game, and I'd basically be cheating for the most part. And I believed him, and he asked me two very important questions. What's your email and what's your password? And I gave it to him. I didn't want to at first, because although I wasn't um, well experienced being online, I knew I shouldn't give a stranger my password. But because of how everything had linked up with my friend getting cheats and this guy contacting me, because the timeline was so close together, I gave it up and I assumed that this was real. Um, it was not. Long story short, um, as soon as I gave him my email and password, he immediately changed all the passwords, and I lost my accounts, and I was no longer able to access any accounts tied to that email. And I was devastated. This really hurt because he took he took away from me what took me roughly 5 years um, to build, and that really, really hurt home. So ever since that day, I've taken cybersecurity very seriously. I constantly change my passwords. Um, no device I own or no account I own have the same password. Everything's different, and I will admit at times it does get a little overwhelming to remember everything. But I'd rather keep changing my password than somebody guess my password one time and have access to everything. And brings me to my final point of why I care so much. These are just a few screenshots of years of gameplay I have accumulated since that devastating day. Uh, And without passwords and codes to protect this, it could be taken from me just as it was taken from me before. Now, it's whoever takes is gonna have to work a little bit harder because I'm not just gonna, give you my email and password. But with the passwords and codes there, it does make it a little bit harder for them to access this. Now, one thing I want you to take in mind is why when you're looking at these pictures is the little clock icon and the number right next to them. And I know what you're thinking, man, this guy needs to get outside. But I mean, these are just my hobbies and these are things I enjoy. Now, this is over years of gameplay. Um, Now, the one that might stand out the most is, of course, Rocket League, which has a little over 1,600 hours. I have had that game for coming up 5 or 6 years now, maybe four, but I have played it a lot. And I care about these things and I want to keep them safe. And I value having my information protected, my virtual information protected. Um, because similar to what happened to me in the past, I want to keep that from happening. And I try to advise those that I know and around me um, how to keep themselves safe too. But in conclusion, I would say cybersecurity is one of the most valuable assets that we have in the upcoming future, especially with AI becoming more and more advanced every day. We have to keep ourselves ahead of the curve to not allow ourselves to fall behind and be vulnerable to attacks. Thank you.